Hey guys, it's OnPointGaming here. I'm not really sure how to start this video. I guess I just kind of wanted to make a thoughts video on Stalker 2. I have over 150 hours in it now, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna call this. I guess I might call it a rant, or it's gonna be a mostly negative video. I'll get the positives out of the way first. I mean, this is a great game. I'd recommend it to anybody. When it comes just to pure immersion, when you're out in the open world and stuff like that, the gunplay, the atmosphere. I mean, you guys have heard it all before. What I really want to talk about is my negatives in this game, because the more I play it, the more frustrated I'm getting. And I guess we'll just start with performance. This is completely unscripted. I'm going to try and have a little bit of structure to it, but I don't know what happened in the last third of this game, but essentially, pretty much after the Circa mission, this game, you really start to see the cracks come through. My frame rate usually has been around 90 in the open world. It's dropping down into the 40s. I'm here in Rostock. Right now it's at 60, but if I come here after like a mission to drop off some loot and stuff, like see if I walk into this bar, it's dropping down in the 40s. I'm hitting sub 20 FPS sometimes. And I know why. It's because of the people and stuff like that in the game. If that's the case, developers, take all these people, like this guy,
Hello.
like, they all say the same thing. What's new around the zone?
See you around.
Nobody has anything to offer you. There's no side quests. Get these people out of here. The immersion in this game comes from the open world. The cities are here for one thing, to sell stuff and buy stuff. I mean, at the point of the game I'm in right now, I have no missions. I have literally 100% at every single zone that you see. I've 100% at all of these. There's no side quest. There's nothing to do. All I have essentially is this main mission. At the start of the game, this really wasn't an issue. The lesser zone, garbage, Rostock to a certain extent. There was always some side missions to do. The only other side missions that you really get are in Malachite, and you get a few missions from the vendor there, but other than that, the side missions are just non-existent. So if all these people are the reason for the FPS dips, just get rid of them. There's no need for it. Just put the necessary vendors, and that's that. Now, aside from the FPS, I don't think I've ever had a game crash as much as this game. I played for about 2 hours yesterday, and I just had to quit. And I don't know. It's not because of the update, because the update was like what, a week ago, 10 days ago. It's like you hit a certain point, like especially after you kill Faust, and I'll get into that in a second. I've had this game in 2 hours. This game crashed 5 times. And not only that, in the last 50 hours that I've played, I've had this game hard crash to the point where I had to re-download my graphics card software, my Adrenaline software. It just straight up like deleted my drivers. I've never had a game do that ever. And I have no idea how that's happening or why that's happening, but it's utterly ridiculous. I've had crashes where my computer just shuts off. In the 150 hours I've played, I want to say I've had at least 50 crashes. Now, to me that's unacceptable, and I didn't have this issue when I was playing in the start of the game. It wasn't until, especially after the assault on Duga, you know, like, I'm stuck in terrain. And by the way, I don't care about bugs. you know, I've played plenty of Bethesda games, and this game shits on Starfield. This game shits on, I'd even say it shits on Skyrim. And I know a lot of people are going to say that that's blasphemy, but I think Bethesda games are massively overrated since Oblivion. Like I said, I really like this game, which is why it's so frustrating that there's so many issues in this game. You know, like, I've had so many story missions. Like, for example, I've had a story mission in the slag heap here since, I don't know, 30 hours. I go here, there's nothing. And it's been like this for the last 100 hours. I don't know if this is an important mission or not. It says specifically there's a story mission there. I don't know. I've had so many side missions. Like, for example, there's a guy here. He asked you to help him kill a pseudo giant. I don't know if you guys have fought those. They take 500, 600 rounds to kill. I didn't have enough ammo, so I went back, restocked, came back, the guy's gone. And now instead of one pseudo giant, there's two there. And what's my reasoning for killing them? You don't get anything for killing them, so now there's no point in me fucking going back to this place. I'm sorry if I'm swearing, but it's just kind of a rant. Side missions, I've had at least 5 different side missions bug out on me. And that's not even talking about Zalicia, which I know this bugs out for everybody, where all the whatever, all the fucking the zealot guys are just inside the courthouse, and you can't do anything. Luckily, I still got the achievement, and eventually they came out and I killed them all. I left and Zalicia still fell, so that's another base down. Going into Malachite, right? These guys, like, that's another thing too. Like the faction system, it's not explained to you at all. Like, for some reason, these guys were red for me, even though I did all their missions. So what that means essentially is that everything costs way more expensive here. Okay, I did all their missions. Is this even Malachite? Yeah, this is Malachite. I did all their missions for them, and yet everything's red. And the only traders that are green for me is Rookie Village. And like I said, guys, I've done everything. I've done everything in the game, everything in these areas, except for the Duga, and I'll get into that also. Why is this? I don't even. I did a mission for a guy where I told him jokes. So why is this base green for me? No idea. But the only base on the eastern side of the map, all the guys are red. And not to mention, I want to get into the last mission for Malachite here, where you have to defend this base. I defended it, and there's all I have here now is my stash. All the vendors are gone. I can't sell anything here. All there is now is a stash box. And in the mission where you have to defend Malachite, no word of a lie, I probably killed 150 dudes. And if there wasn't a stash box, I had to run back to the stash box probably 6-7 times to get more ammo, because they just kept coming and coming and coming. And my point here is, why am I defending this base if I don't even reclaim it after? So I spend thousands of rounds of ammunition, and I actually have a clip. This is just a 1-minute clip, and just to show you how broken the AI is, and how they just spontaneously combust on you. And this is just one clip. I'll just play this. It's just a minute long. So this is me sniping this guy, and I'm actually I'm clipping a door here, which is why I'm not getting hits. You can clearly see I'm shooting him. I'm hitting an invisible wall. Okay, so there was one guy there. I throw a grenade in. That should kill that guy. I'm waiting for them to push through the door. Or the one guy to push through the door. There's 6 or 7 guys there now. So I throw like 5 grenades in there. Does absolutely nothing. And I'm thinking there's maybe like, look at all these fucking guys that are just out of nowhere. And on this particular fight, this happened 10, 15 times. And you have to ask yourself, like, if you don't have a lot of ammo, like, how are you supposed to deal with that? Like, say if there wasn't a stash box here, I almost think the developers intended for the stash box to be there. I must have went through 150 sniper rounds and over 1,000 9mm rounds. Just absolutely ridiculous. So anyway. Yeah, and then we're getting the frame drops. Oh, and just going back to the crashes before the patch. If the game crashes on you and you don't go back to the main menu, you lose all your saves. So I have lost probably 25 hours in progress. I mean, I'm just ranting here, but like, it's starting to get to the point where I almost want to put this game down because the game has been so good up until now, and I don't understand like who play tested. Like, oh yeah, here's another thing. See, this is really unscripted. Artifacts. Okay. 150 hours. Apparently there's 69 artifacts in this game. Okay, I don't even know how to get out of here now. 69 artifacts. I've played 150 hours.
He's hiding there somewhere.
See, I don't even know what's going on here. Who's hiding? Trying to figure out how to get back to my stash. Okay, right. There's 69 artifacts, and I'm trying to get all the achievements in this game. Well, I've given up on that completely, because 3 of the artifacts have bugged for me, where they're just in the geometry. I can't get them. And you know the video that I made with getting the weird bolt? Well, unbeknownst to me, I played for another 2 hours and an emission happened and my game crashed. So I reload the save, game crashes again. I reload the save, game crashes again. I go back an hour and a mission happens in a random time. My game crashed again. So I go online and I figure out that if you pick up the weird bolt for certain players, your game will crash every time an emission happens. So I had to go back 5 hours before I made that video and just not pick that up. So I guess I just can't get that artifact for this playthrough. And I can't get that achievement for all that. And I actually have videos for the other artifacts as well. But I didn't put them out because I was just like, well, what's the point? I don't even want to pick them up because if maybe one of these is going to bug my game. So 150 hours, and I've probably sold like 60 artifacts. Look at all these artifacts, all of them. I've gotten like 10 of these hypercubes, and I've gotten like 6 of these. These are the only legendary artifacts that I've found in 150 hours. All of these are completely useless. They serve no purpose. Essentially, they're just there to be sold, I guess. I have no idea what the point of the artifact system is if they're not going to be worthwhile. And, you know, I look online, like when I was looking how many artifacts there were, people are spending hours farming the same place over and over again. I'm not doing that. I'm not wasting my time doing that. I haven't even gotten weird water because it doesn't spawn for me. I've spent hours looking for it, and that was the one artifact I looked up a guide for. And don't say you didn't look up a guide, because you did look up a guide. You know, like, what's a random player that walks into that place supposed to think when he sees these green lights? Oh, I'm supposed to wander around here for 3 hours until I find the artifact? I don't think so. Let's get into scanners for a little 30-second tangent. This scanner is absolutely necessary because it's the only one that has a 100-meter radius. Why does the best scanner in the game, the Velis, why does it only have a 50-meter range? So when you're wandering around the outside world or the open world, you're constantly wandering around with this thing until you get a blip, and then you have to get within 50 meters, go to your inventory, switch to the Velis, and then you can start looking for your artifact. Gameplay wise, it makes absolutely no sense. This is the best detector. It should have the best range. It should be the best detector. I shouldn't have to constantly switch back and forth. But I'm not even looking for artifacts anymore because they don't matter. These artifacts that I have right now, I found all of these. I've been using these for probably 70 hours and I haven't changed them because why would I? Right? Artifacts should have a specific purpose in the game. They shouldn't just be checks on a checkboard that you find. Right? That goes the same with stashes. I completely stopped picking up stashes because what is the point? I made a little joke in my last video, you know, don't bother searching stashes because there's fuck all in them. Well, that's the case for 99% of stashes. And yeah, some of them have flash drives, but am I really expected to just wander around the map, going to all these stashes to get a bottle of vodka and 3 rounds in the hopes that a flash drive might be there? And again, what's even the point? There's, I guess, like 85 flash drives or something like that. Once you have the armor that you want, what do you need all these flash drives for? And not to mention, I'm sure you guys got the bug. The flash drive for the 10-round magazine for the pump action shotgun, it doesn't register. Like it doesn't go into your blueprints. So I don't even know if that counted or not. So I could be searching for all these flash drives for what? So I can get an achievement that I may not even get? Again, it's just stupid stuff like that. Right now, I'm trying to get this collar. Yesterday, I crashed 3 times out of the 5, just trying to get to this marker. So we'll see if I crash now. Let's get into weapons. Most weapons are completely useless, and I'll explain why. The only stat that matters in this game is penetration. Damage doesn't matter, range doesn't matter because you're not... The enemies will spawn in within 50 meters. It doesn't matter. Right? Damage does not matter, rate of fire doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is penetration. And I forget the YouTuber, I was looking at the spreadsheets on what monsters have what armor. And it's no wonder you can't kill the pseudo giants. They have 4 armor. And I haven't found a gun in the game that has more than 3 pen. Now, maybe the Gauss rifle has... I haven't found the Gauss rifle yet. But I was looking at the stats on that. It has 180 damage. My M700 has 160. So why in the world would I use a Gauss rifle? I've only found 80 rounds for that gun in 150 hours. And I haven't been to a vendor that sells that ammo. I have been using this gun and this SMG and this pistol for the last 50 hours, and there's no reason to use anything else. You put the underbarrel shotgun on the sniper rifle, use that for the bloodsuckers, and you're good to go. There is no reason to use any... You're just wasting ammo at that point. And the thing about this sniper, and like... if you compare it to like the SVD or the other snipers, this one is just more efficient. It lasts longer, it does more damage, you're using less ammo, and when you shoot somebody in the chest with this thing, they die unless they have armor. And by the way, once you beat Circa, every single enemy in the game has full armor on. So unless you have more than 3 pen, they're tanking headshots. Like in that clip that I just showed you. And here's another thing. The 80 plus enemies, or 100 plus enemies that I killed in Malachite, in this fight here, you'll notice all the soldiers have exoskeletons. All of them, and full armor. Now you would think one of them would have an exoskeleton you could loot. Or maybe even a weapon you could loot. No, None of them have exoskeletons you can loot. None of them even have weapons you can loot. All of their weapons are broken. So, like, you see at the end here, there's what, 8 bodies there? I don't even look at them, because I know they have nothing I can loot. And I'm not picking up broken weapons to sell for $400. And that's another, let's get into the economy. The economy in this game is broken. I know in the video that I made before, with that exploit, quote-unquote exploit, I thought maybe that was a bug, and the developers intended for the prices to be that way. I was wrong. They want you to pick up 10 weapons and sell them to the traders for $1,000 a piece. And apparently that's the economy in this game. Excuse me. They made repair costs slightly better, but to repair this, oh, I just got struck by lightning. That's cool. To repair this armor here, it still costs $40,000 even at 50% durability. So I'm just not sure how the players expected to keep up with repair costs, especially in late game. Like in a fight like that, or pretty much any fight with armored enemies, you're losing durability so fast. And yet you're supposed to loot all these half-broken weapons in the hopes that one of them will be yellow, and you go to sell them, and not to mention, the only traders that actually pay good money for them are the rookie camp. So and the repair costs are way cheaper here. If I were to repair my armor in Malachite or Rostock, it's 35-40% more or something like that. So every time I come back, I'll go to Rostock or Malachite, and I'll fast travel all the way to Corden just to repair my stuff, and then fast travel all the way back. It's just a waste of player time. The way I see it, if you're doing missions for these factions, you should gain favor with them. You'll see that I have one of the bartenders green. Why? I don't know. I did a mission for him, but I did a mission for a bunch of guys here. Duga. Let's get into looting again. All of these buildings, all of them, have nothing in them. Absolutely nothing. Right? Like, you think, oh, like, there's these big apartments and, you know, fire stations. And by the way, why is there no base here? When you do the assault on Duga, you just have to run all the way back to Rostock. There is no base in this area. Maybe one appears later on. You know, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but... And you'll see all these stashes. I didn't even bother picking them up, because why would I? I got 3 artifacts here, all duplicates. This is an endgame area, in my opinion. You would think that there should be more artifacts, or more rare artifacts, rather. There isn't. I searched. These are all points of interest. I searched all of them. I spent hours searching all of them. There's nothing, no unique weapons, no variants, no weapon attachments. And that's what my main point here is I know this is a ramble, and, you know, fucking sorry about that, but the last third of this game, it seemed like they were just like, we know this needs another 6 months, but we have to put this out for Microsoft. If you compare the last third of this game to the first third of this game, it's night and day. Performance, bugs, quests. In the Lesser Zone alone, there's more side content than the whole map combined. You know, there's dynamic events. Like, what happened to the dynamic events? Like, I was at least expecting going to these buildings here. Maybe there might be a guy trapped, or something to do, it's completely barren. There's literally no reason to search any of this. And people say Pripyat's going to be better, and I'm sure it is. I'm sure it will be better. I'm sure it will be. But I shouldn't have to get to the like end of the game I shouldn't have to get to like the end level of the game to have meaningful content in the third act. And by the way, I have no reason to go to Pripyat right now. I have no... The only mission I have... Oh, this is... By the way, this is another mission that's bugged. I've had this side activity for, I don't know, 30 hours. It's one of the vendors here. The only vendor in the Red Forest. I go up to him and talk to him. He says the same thing that everybody says. What's new in the... contaminated zone? I don't get it. I don't understand what the hell, what is going on here in this third act of the game. Like, am I supposed to just... And by the way, this mission comes directly after this mission. So all I have to do is run all the way from Malachite all the way up to the Red Forest. That's all I have to do. The mission before that, killing Faust. Oh yeah, killing Faust. That game crashed on me 4 or 5 times fighting him. He takes way too much ammo. Finally, I just use an RPG on him, kill him in one shot. Word of mouth, you can kill Faust with one rocket shot. So you kill him, and then this cutscene happens, and you're hanging off one of the power things at Duga. And you have the option to take his hand or help yourself up. Now I picked the option to take his hand, and I got an achievement for it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he drops you, so you die. You have to replay the boss fight again, except when it happened to me, I got stuck in the terrain. Not only could I not move, I couldn't move my mouse cursor, I couldn't lean. I spent hours figuring out what to do. And apparently you have to load a save before the boss fight, restart the game, and then load the save that you were just at. Like, are you kidding me? You guys didn't playtest that? And by the way, why are you giving me a choice there? Because the second time you help yourself up and then you go through this thing, you get an achievement for that as well. So say if you're achievement hunting, how is a player supposed to know that you have to pick both choices? You literally have to pick both of them to get both achievements. So you have to pick the choice where you kill yourself and have to fight Faust again, and then you have to pick the other choice where you just beat him. Why is that even a choice? Like, developers, like, why is that a choice? Why? Imagine if you just picked the right choice the first time and you were trying to 100% this game, you would have to beat the game again. It makes absolutely no sense. So I'll go try and get this collar, and then we'll probably end the video there. But yeah, guys, I'm just frustrated. The AI just has gotten dramatically worse as well. The spawning in on you. I'm sure you guys have all gotten the bug where weapons just spontaneously enter your inventory, and they get rid of the ones that you have equipped and take all your attachments off and whatnot. It's just literally starting to fall apart at the seams. I'm trying to think of something else. I mean, really, I could rant for probably an hour on this. The open world. Nothing is in it. Now, at first, I really like this because when you don't have a lot of ammo, you don't want to constantly be getting into fights because you're going to run out of ammo once you get to where you're trying to be. But late game, when you pretty much have all that you'll ever need, and your only objectives, or your only objective is one at a time, essentially, there should be some dynamic events, or I don't know, like when some of these places should have enemies at them. I don't know. You know, like I have things marked out on the map where I know there's enemies, but like there's pseudo giants here. Like why? And it's called Bloodsucker Village. There's no bloodsuckers there. I don't know what that's about. Again, this collect the collars mission is the only side mission I've gotten since Malachite, essentially. And even then, the Malachite missions where you go find a doctor putting up a solar thing, and then go to this other place and get a hard drive, and that's the side mission. You know, it's hardly worth it. Right? Then these guys just spawn in. Oh, that's another thing. Let's go back to combat stealth. I managed to get 11 kills with my knife so far this playthrough, and that was extremely difficult because enemies just see you through walls. They see you through bushes. They see you in pitch black. They see you from a mile away. Trying to sneak up on somebody and get an execution with a knife, and especially, like I said, this last third of the game, it's impossible because the enemies just see you from so far away, or they have a third sense and they just know where you are. So, you know, I was trying to 100% this game, and I was going to make a guide for it, but I've had so many things bug out, and so many things that are just impossible to do. I mean, 150, I've seen YouTube videos where they haven't used the knife once, and I can understand why. The stealth is absolutely broken in this game. I mean, it was almost thrown in as an afterthought. I mean, as a stalker, you would think you stalk, you know, you sneak up on people, you use your environment to your, you know, to your advantage, you know, stuff like that. That's, like, look at that huge frame drop as soon as I got into this area. Stuff like that was not happening. And there hasn't been an update, so it's not, the game was sent out this way. The game was absolutely sent out this way. Guy just runs right through that. Okay, and here I am thinking I'm gonna have to fight like a big mutant or something. It's a snork. Like, you see what I'm saying, guys? There wasn't... It's almost like there was no thought put into the last third of the game. So, when I got this mission, I was in Duga. I had to run all the way to Garbage to kill a snork for a collar. That was completely unscripted. That is the epitome. That is exactly what I'm talking about. And now I have no more side missions. The only one that I do have is bugged. I can't do it. And now I am expected to run 1.4 kilometers back to maybe get, I don't know, a few thousand credits. That's another thing we can touch on. The rewards you get for the things that you do in this game do not add up. They don't make any sense at all. For the few side quests that you do get, the amount of money that you get, You get more money from doing quests for bartenders than you do for main missions or main side missions. It seems like the reason why there's all these absolute garbage artifacts in this game is so you can actually make money. Because I'll tell you right now, if I wasn't doing that exploit, I was at $1 million. Look at where I'm at now. And I've been selling stuff. I've been picking up armors. I've been selling weapons. I'm losing money constantly. I cannot keep I couldn't keep at $1 million, even if I tried all day. Even if I spent all day just trying to make money, I could not stay at $1 million because every time you go out, I'm not even fighting these dogs. Every time you go out, your weapon breaks, your armor breaks, and you have to repair it. And every time it's going to cost you $50,000, $60,000. So at that point, you just ask yourself, like, I can't imagine the people that are just playing this with, like, no money. Every time you go out, I mean, essentially, unless you're just beelining for story missions, every time you go out, you're going to lose money. Like, that's a given. That is absolutely guaranteed. You're going to lose money. So, the devs need to fix the economy. Weapons, like, this armor, it says it's worth 204,000. You know what it's worth when I go to sell it to a trader? 55,000. This is fully upgraded. I've already put probably 200,000 into it. That does not add up. And again, I'm ranting here and stuff. I love this game. I really do. But after 150 hours, I feel like I needed to get some things off my chest. And I don't want to discourage anybody from playing. This is the best game I've played since Baldur's Gate 3. But I think the mistake I made was 100%ing everything that I could. I don't think you should play. If you're a new player on the fence, don't search every single build. Like, don't spend. You know, my 150 hours, I've probably spent 100 of that, you know, just wandering around. Like, I'm just starting to beeline the story because at this point, you know, like, I'm done searching around. When I get to Pripyat, I'll search around, but don't try and do everything in this game. Just play it like you would play it normally. Don't search every single building. Don't go for every single stash unless you're trying to go for flash drives, I suppose. But even then, if you really want the flash, just look them up. I haven't looked them up. You know, maybe on my second playthrough, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. But I wanted to play this game 100% blind, which is why I spent so much time searching. And now I find myself at the point, maybe I'll get another mission from this guy, but all I have to do is this one story mission, and that's going to lead to another story mission, and then another one, and then maybe another one. And I just think that, especially towards the end, you have all this gear and all this dope armor and all this cool stuff, and you know, I've got like 500 grenades in my stash. The game should get bigger on the third part. You know, like that, it's the finale of the game. It seems like they really polished the first part. And I think they kind of just rushed the end of it. Like, I really want to like, I have literally explored every building, every cave, every nook and cranny in this entire game in the areas that I've unlocked so far. And it's not worth it. You get nothing for it. You know, like, you go search for these stashes and stuff. The houses have more stuff than the stash does half the time. You know, that shouldn't be happening. Stashes, it shouldn't be like a Ubisoft game where it's just like, okay, there's these checkboxes, blah, blah, blah. You see all these grayed out stashes here? These are ones that I've been to, and I just pull out the grenade, and I leave everything else. That's why they're not disappeared. And you'll notice if you look at my map, there's probably 50 of these, like, grayed out stashes, because all of them have nothing in them. So again, guys, I think I'm just going to leave it there. I think I've been ranting way too long. It's probably getting annoying. Really like the game. You know, like, hopefully the story kind of picks up towards the end. I think I'm probably in the last... I've probably done 75% of the story at this point. So, yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Sorry for ranting. I just really wanted to get it off my chest. And I really hope the A-Life 2.0 comes out soon. Okay, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. And take her easy.